the Bearded Monkey here from the Razor's Edge, and today I'm here talking to Dino Cazares of Fear Factory. Welcome, Dino. How are
Fuck yeah, thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
No worries, man. So 30 plus years into your career, countless amount of albums released through various projects, with the most recent being Aggression Continuum, which is going to be released via Nuclear Blast on the 18th of June 2021. With the world the way it is, Fear Factory's futuristic vision is looking ever more possible. Can you talk to us about the new album and kind of what's the story behind it?
Well, obviously, Fear Factory has always been the relationship between human and AI. You know what I mean? And sometimes those, relationships, are bad. Yeah. Sometimes there's good. Sometimes they're one. Sometimes they get along. Yeah. In this situation, it's kind of like still the battle between the two because on this record, humans are being captured so they can extract all their memories and their consciousness and being exported into a automaton. Yeah. So when the automaton, could actually think it's human because it has memories, right? From childhood memories, and so they think it's human, and so it's the battle between the two because like I said, humans are being captured so they can be so they can extract their memories. So that battle is still going on. I think you could kind of see it in the video for Disruptor.
Yeah. But where do you get your ideas from? What's the inspiration?
Just movies, books, things like that, and just seeing stuff on YouTube and following all the rabbit hole of technology. Yeah. There's a guy named Ray Kurzweil who invented the Kurzweil keyboards and instruments. He's a very intelligent guy. He's what you call a futurist. Yeah. Someone who predicts the future and where technology is going. Yeah. He's really good. Look him up, Ray Kurzweil with a K. Awesome. Look him up. He's got some very interesting things to say, and so that's where a lot of the concepts for me come from.
Yeah. Awesome, man. I say, like, it's, I was sort of like when I'm listening to Fear Factory, it's like, it seems like there's so much research and everything that goes into it, and so like it just makes for that experience, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely a lot of research goes into it, and we're definitely being, socially aware of what's going on out there, around the world, and stuff like that. Doing all that research definitely helps us, especially when we travel the world. When we're on tour, we get to, India and China and all those different countries that we get to go to. Yeah. That, it really helps us add to the concept.
Yeah. I mean, you guys started writing Aggression Continuum shortly after you released Genexus. Obviously, there's been some legal disputes and a pandemic in between. But here we are, obviously ready to release. What was the writing and the recording process like for this album?
The writing and the recording process for this album? Yeah. Well, we actually went and did the record back in 2017. Yeah. We completed a record. It wasn't going to be, at that moment, it couldn't have been called Fear Factory because it was being... the trademark was being held up in court. Yeah. So we didn't even know what we were going to call the record, but we were hoping that we would eventually be able to call it Fear Factory. But we went to record and, we used a drum program on this record in the very beginning. So later on, when I was able to retain the rights to the name, to the trademark name Fear Factory, I was able to go back and put in live drums. Yeah. So it's kind of weird because there's almost two different recording processes for this record. It was one that we started off in 2017 and we completed, and then there's now the version of this version now that's going to be coming out on June 18th.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, obviously, to get rid of the elephant in the room, obviously relationships between you and Burton have been quite rocky and quite public for some time. Obviously, Burton leaving the band in 2002, and then obviously the most recent events with obviously the name and that sort of thing. How has this kind of affected the development and your sort of feelings for the album?
Oh, I still love the record, regardless. There was a point where I was going to be replacing Bert's vocals with somebody else, but
Yeah.
the record company really wanted um, his vocals on the record, and
Yeah.
I definitely agreed. And I said, let's keep it that way. And so that's why it's so kind of weird talking about this record without a singer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Your singer just quit the band, but his vocals are still on it. It's like, oh boy. So it's like, just having to deal with all that.
Yeah.
But I look forward to the future, and I look forward to what's to come.
Yeah. Do you foresee this being the last Fear Factory album as we know it? Or do you think that Fear Factory is going to live on? Have you got somebody in mind who you'd like to front it?
Yes, I definitely do have people in mind. How do I see it going forward? I think it's exciting.
Yeah.
Sure, the voice may change, but doesn't mean that the spirit or the drive or the whole reason why the band started needs to change. Definitely not.
Yeah.
So we're definitely going to be carrying the tradition moving forward with whoever I choose to be the front man or the front woman. But I think sometimes change is inevitable, and I think sometimes change could be good.
Yeah.
So I know in this situation it's going to be great.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, to be honest, you've been very interchangeable throughout the years. You've done many different projects. I mean, there's three in mind that I wanted to talk to you about today.
Sure.
Divine Heresy being one of them, Roadrunner United being another, and Jasta, most recently Jasta. I'm going to start with Roadrunner United. I mean, like, this to me, when I think of why I love metal, Roadrunner United is kind of peak metal for me. All my favourite bands, one album. I've always wanted to ask you, kind of, what was this experience like? And would you be up for doing it if the opportunity arrives again?
I would 100% love to do it if the opportunity came up again.
Yeah.
But for me, the experience was amazing because I got to play with some of my friends, you know what I mean? And we got to collaborate on some music, and it was great. And the first guys that I picked was, Roy Mayorga, drummer, Paul Gray, the bass player, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Andreas Kisser from Sepultura, and Nadia from Cold Chamber, and a handful of other people that I love. But we were able to create these killer songs, and I fucking would love to do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Love to do it again.
Who was your favourite person to work with on that record?
All of them.
Yeah.
You can't pick one.
All right, and if I change it, who was the least favourite?
None of them were my least favorite. They were all my favorite.
Yeah, fair enough, man. Next, kind of Divine Heresy. One of the most overlooked bands, in my opinion. It was such a short but amazing ride with two fantastic records. I mean, Bleed the Fifth, the amount of times I've burnt that record out and gone and bought it again and listened to it again. Bringer of Plagues, once again, killer metal record. With a fantastic lineup of musicians, obviously yourself, Tommy Vex, Tim Young, the late great Joe Payne, and Travis Neal. Would there ever be a chance of Divine Heresy resuming and coming back? And if so, who would you like to join you on that?
Ooh, good question. For sure, want to do another record, for sure.
Yeah.
When that happens, who knows? Because I got so much stuff going on right now with Fear Factory that it's hard to do other projects at the moment.
Yeah.
But, if I were to do another Divine Heresy record, that it would take at least a year to put it together and get the songs written and get the band members going.
Yeah.
So it would take a year away from Fear Factory.
Yeah.
So it's hard to find that time to do that. Hopefully I will.
Yeah.
And when I do, I can assure you it's going to be ripping like the rest of the stuff. It's really difficult to try to keep Divine Heresy and Fear Factory music apart. You know what I mean? Because even though you could tell it's me on a Divine Heresy record, it's also me introducing new elements that I didn't do in Fear Factory. You know what I mean? So the tempos were faster. It was a lot more riffs, some guitar solos everywhere. So there was a lot of elements in Divine Heresy that weren't in Fear Factory,
Yeah.
and it's getting harder and harder to keep the two apart. You know what I mean? But yeah, I definitely want to do another record for sure.
Mate, you're an absolute riff machine. Where, you know, like after all these years, how do you come up with I'll sit there myself and I'll get my guitar and it's like I'll come up with one, I'll go, that's all right, but then every other riff, I'm going, oh, it's the same riff.
I think because that I concentrate more on the riff, that I am constantly writing stuff, and I'm constantly, even if it's only like just a riff or a half a song, whatever, I'm always, getting the idea down. Yeah. So I have time to marinate with it and, let it sink in and be like, okay, that riff really works. Yeah. Like I'll have like 100 riffs and I'll pick like, 10 of the best riffs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's how it is, because some of the riffs I write, sometimes I think are not that great.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think they're like, oh, this riff's boring. You know what I mean? Like for instance, when I wrote the song Body Hammer,
yeah,
I didn't like it at first. I was like, that's I thought it was kind of funny, but I wasn't really into it. But then, Burton got really excited about it, and then he was like, dude, this is a fucking badass riff. I'm like, I didn't see it. Even though I wrote it, me and Raymond wrote it, the drums and the guitar, I didn't see it at the time. But Bert saw it, and it became, then I started to grow on me. I'm like, okay, this riff is actually pretty good. Other people like it. It really opened my eyes. It is something I wrote. It's weird. It's something I wrote that I wasn't even really I didn't even like that much, and then it just, my own riff grew on me.
Yeah.
I started liking it. And then Jamie Josta, that's like his favorite riff.
It's mad, isn't it? Like you sort of listen back and you go, oh, and it's weird how you can sort of go on and off your own songs, but then you listen back to it like years and years later and go, you know what? Actually, that was pretty sick.
You know what's funny? My least favorite song that I ever wrote was the song "Obsolete" on the Obsolete record.
No, is that still the case today, or?
Yes. Still the case. It hasn't changed.
No. Finally, kind of the last project that I wanted to sort of bring forward and ask you about was obviously 2018. Jasta, you, Howard Jones, Kurt Weinstein, Jamie. What a flipping band! I was there at Bloodstock, and my neck was. I mean, I've cut my hair years and years and years ago, but I mean, just I could not stop headbanging. It was such a powerful set.
You can still headbang with your beard.
Yeah, man. Well, that's exactly it. Was this a one-time thing, or will there be another in the future? Do you think?
Well, we were hoping to do it again, but we'll see what happens. We're things are just barely starting to open up. From this pandemic. Some of the other parts of the world are still going through a lot of issues.
Yeah.
So once it's fully open, I think that that should be a discussion again for Josta to put it back together again and just go back out there and do it, because it was so much fun. It was so much fun.
I mean, obviously it was like 4 dates, was it, that you did? Obviously Bloodstock.
No, we did more. We did more than that. We probably did. I don't know.
Oh, sorry, in the UK, I meant.
Oh, in the UK, yeah, in the UK.
Yeah.
Well, we did about 15 shows, or maybe a little more than that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, can obviously for this album, we'll obviously go back to the album. You've rejoined up with Reese Fulber and the absolute legend that is Andy Sneap. Also returning is Mr. Tony Campos on bass duties. Are there any more people in the future that you would like to work with again? Not obviously from the past.
Good question. I mean, I would love to work with Andreas Kisser again. We can resurrect Paul and have Paul on the record. I wish, Yeah, no, I think, Andreas Kisser would probably be one of my favorite ones to work with right now.
Yeah, definitely.
But, I don't know. I can't think of anybody at the moment.
I mean, look, throughout your career, you've probably done it all, played all your favourite venues and things like that. Kind of what's left now for you to achieve?
To me, every time I make a record is an achievement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just to be able to get a collection of killer riffs and killer beats and with some killer vocals and get it out to the people who enjoy listening to this music. So that's still an achievement to me. Yeah. Every record is that's how I approach it. You know what I mean? I always feel like I needed to improve or, go somewhere cool.
Yeah.
And, getting back on the road, just, with all the traveling things that are going on every time, we've been through a lot. I've been through where, the plane engine blows up and we had to fucking make emergency landing. We've been through 9/11.
Yeah.
We've been through volcanoes where we couldn't even fly because of volcanoes. Being on tour with Metallica, we couldn't fly. And so we've been through a lot, and I just think that just getting out there and playing in front of the fans is a big achievement in itself.
What's the where's the first place you want to play as soon as the world opens up again?
At your house.
My house, mate. You're welcome anytime.
Where's the first place I want to play?
Yeah.
Probably somewhere locally here in LA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is where I've been. So probably somewhere here, and then obviously get back on the road and just get out there.
Yeah, man, definitely. Do you have any regrets throughout your career? Anything that you think, I wish I'd done that differently or anything like that?
Yeah, I wish that when I first owned the name way back in the beginning, that I didn't include everybody.
Yeah.
But you're a band. You do compromises, and you want to cut everybody in, and then obviously it turned into be a curse later on in my career.
Definitely. Are you sort of are you planning a follow-up quite quickly with this, or are you going to sort of try and get this album out there and get on the road?
Well, the main thing would be to get this record out, solidify or announce who is going to be the front person, and get back on the road to promote this record. Those are the main things. I do want to get maybe a song or two with the new vocalist, and put it out there as a single.
Have you got somebody in place then? Is there something sneaky there?
Wouldn't you like to know?
I would like to know.
I can't say anything yet.
Yeah, fair enough, man. So how long until we'll know?
I don't know.
Fair enough, man.
You'll know when you know.
Well, Dino, thank you so much for your time, man. Aggression Continuum will be released on the 18th of June via Nuclear Blast. Thank you so much. The record is absolutely a beast, and I wish you all the best with it. Thank you. And if anybody who's listening wants to go out there and purchase the CD, the cassette, the vinyl, merchandise, go to fearfactory.com, and there you'll find everything. Plus, we're also doing some giveaways. Ooh. We're giving away my Ormsby signature 7-string guitar. We're giving away guitar pickups. We're giving away guitar pedals. So, go to that's my signature overdrive pedal from Proton Pedals. Yeah. So go to fearfactory.com, and there you can do all it's called a pre-save and pre-add, and you can go there and you get a chance to win all that stuff. Bro, man. Well, you heard it here first. Go, guys. Go to it. Thank you, Dino. Nice one, man. All right. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for listening. Make sure you keep up to date with future episodes by subscribing to our channels. For more information on this podcast, or for all the latest music news, reviews, interviews and more, head over to our website, www.therazorsedge.rocks.